SSS funds. I think that was very clear.
So ano po yung stance po ng Malacanang dito sa di umano'y pagkakasangkot ng actuary chief at nung isa pang opisyal po ng SSS, ayon na rin po kay Mr. Valdez?
Chairman Valdez has ordered an investigation. There will be prosecutions. There will be people who will be fired and criminal charges filed if warranted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question, Dexter Ganive of DZMM.
Hi, Sec. Good morning. Sec, madalas nating mapakinggan kay Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte kanyang panawagan lalo na sa ilalim ng executive branch na live a modest life at gumamit ng mga sasakyan na hindi naman masyado magagapa pero hindi yung mamahalin. Are you willing to comply or sumunod dun sa ganong panawagan ng Pangulo?
Yung aking magandang kotse po is 5 years old. Ibig sabihin, hindi na ako po pwedeng bumili ng bago. So maluluma na po sa akin yung maganda kong kotse. I understand the vehicle to be assigned to a cabinet secretary is an Innova. So I said, sure, I will use an Innova.
So hindi nyo nagagamitin yung BMW? Or...
Well, I would say that because there's a free car, why not use the free car? 5-year-old car, I will save it from further depreciation.
Next question po.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Morning, sir. Nandito po ako.
Ay,
Yes, sir.
Sir Deo.
Can you react po? Kasi sinabi po ni Senator Tony Trillanes na ano daw po ba nangyari? Parang hasapian din daw po kayo ng masamang espiritu.
I think that's in line with Halloween. So let's leave it at that.
Next question, Ma'am Celerina.
Good morning, sir. Celerina Monte from the Daily Manila Shimbun, Japanese newspaper. Sir, there's this new report by the World Bank regarding ease of doing business wherein the Philippines dropped by 40 notches on its rank. While there's this improvement on the scores, however, other countries improved much. That's why we slipped in the rank. May we know what's the government action in order to recover our rank, to improve our status?
Well, Secretary Lopez mentioned this actually in Japan, no? But he did say that although we fell in the rankings, that our scores improved. Unfortunately, we were compared to a list of only about 30 countries and not all countries in general. He assured me that if the comparison is made with all other countries, there would have been an improvement. Nonetheless, we will take this report very seriously, and I think the President has shown the political will to get things done, and I'm sure that this report will be a reason for us to further innovate and make sure that doing business in the Philippines will become easier.
Do we have any target, like before the Aquino administration has its own target, but it failed to reach the target? So do we have any target as to the rank?
Knowing the President in November next year, he would want to see an improvement in the rankings.
But no specific, like at this level?
Right now, there's none. I still have to confer with Secretary Lopez, but I am sure the President in November of next year would want to see a substantial improvement regardless of whatever reasons the department may have to justify the standing of the Philippines. I assure you, things will move in DTI to make it easier for individuals to invest.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Microphone po.
Hey, sir. Good morning po. Lianes Capandia, Manila Times. Covered you in the house po.
I know. Nandito ka na pala. Mabuti naman, may familiar face. Pwede ba magdala ka pa mas marami? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I would just like to clarify about the Marawi siege because the President already declared Marawi liberated from terrorists, and yet over the weekend there's an Indonesian who was arrested, a Maute fighter, and he said, and the army confirmed this today, that there are still 39 Maute fighters in the area. So I'm just trying to reconcile, if it is liberated, why is it that there are still 39 Maute fighters at large?
I think that's easy to explain. It's the nature of urban street warfare. There's no open shooting in Marawi now. I don't think they have the capability to engage us frontally, but they may still be in hiding, and that is why the military continues to exercise caution. That's also the reason why we have not allowed civilians completely to return to the war zone area.
So, sir, it's What is it? What is the situation? Is it safe to return for the evacuees to return to their homes or just in parts of
I think,
Marawi?
there were
How
parts.
how will we describe the situation now?
Well, you see, my plan is on this Wednesday, I will conduct a press briefing in Marawi itself because I would want to be informed about what's really happening. If you recall, I've had 2 trips to Marawi, once to distribute relief goods to the Bakwits, because I was the author of the IDP bill, Rights of Internally Displaced Persons, and another to provide burgers and other materials for the soldiers. No? This Wednesday, I've asked actually the PCOO to arrange a Wednesday briefing because I understand the Malacanang Press Corps does not want a briefing on Wednesdays. So in fact, I'm planning on doing briefings regularly on Wednesdays from the ground in Marawi. I could probably give you better answers when I get there.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next question, Rose Cause of UNTV, to be followed by JP Pensito.
Hi sir, good morning po.
Hi.
Sir, hingin po namin ng palace statement regarding sa ipinahayag po ni DDB Chair, Dangerous Drugs Board Chair Dionisio Santiago na mistake po yung construction ng mega rehab sa Nueva Ecija dahil malaki yung naigugol at hindi naman po ganun nagagamit yung 10,000 bed capacity. Mas maganda daw po na mag-construct ng mga community-based rehab centers.
Well, alam niyo po, wala pong pera ng gobyerno na ginastos dyan sa mega rehab centers na tinayo. No? Yan po ay binigay na isang philanthropist na Chino. No? So, bagamat ganyan pong opinion ng pinuno ng Dangerous Drug Board, ang assurance naman po natin, walang nasayang na pondo ng gobyerno. That was a decision made by the donor and we can't do anything about it. But we will certainly consider what the expert has said, and in the future, if we're to invest public funds, we will pursue the strategy recommended by the head of the DDP.
Samantalahin ko na rin po. Reaction din po ng Malacanang regarding po dun sa kabubuo lang po na grupo na manlaban sa extrajudicial killings na binubuo po ng mga lawyers, law professors, judges, at law students.
We welcome that, no? Because you see, under our existing laws, not just in the Philippines but worldwide, there is not one legal system in the world that does not recognize the principle of presumption of regularity in the discharge of official functions. No? The only way by which we can overcome this presumption is if there is controverting evidence. So kung may ebidensya that the presumption should not apply, the presumption will not be applied. And I welcome this development because unless we can come up with actual evidence na mayroong extralegal killings talaga, then we cannot overcome the presumption. But as far as extralegal killings is concerned, I came to this job knowing fully well the official position of the president, which he made public after the killing of Kian. No? He will not tolerate murders. He will only tolerate killings when it is in line with duty and when the engagement is legal. And he had, in fact, asked that the police officers involved in the Kian killing be arrested by General Bato.
Thank you. JP, next.
Hi, Secretary. Good morning. Sir,
Yes,
JP
sir.
Bencito, Manila Standard. Sir, can we get your reaction on the third quarter social weather station survey? Sir, it says that 46% of Filipinos and 35% disagree that it cannot be avoided that there are innocent civilians who will die in order to eradicate the drug problem.
Ano uli yung figure? I'm sorry.
46% agree and 35% disagree that it cannot be avoided that there are civilians who will die in order to completely eradicate the drug problem.
So it's almost split in the middle. No?
Yes, sir. Does the palace agree to this survey? What are your thoughts on this, sir?
Well, in any war, unfortunately, there will be collateral damage. The goal of the government is to minimize the collateral damage. The goal of the government is to uphold the right to life, now, which is to protect and promote the right to life. As far as this obligation is concerned, there is a continuing obligation of the state to investigate, prosecute, and punish the perpetrators of these killings. And that is why earlier I said I welcome the creation of that group of lawyers because we need the help of civil society in overcoming the presumption of regularity in the discharge of functions.
Sir, pahabol na lang din po on another topic. Sir, can we just get an outlook of how do you view the trip of the President to Japan since you were part of the delegation, sir?
Very successful, no? We came home with 6 billion worth of investments. We came home with a promise to build a subway, and I'm most excited about a subway because that's really the solution to the traffic problem. I'm happy that we're building a 2 billion liquefied natural gas facility somewhere in the south. LNG is an alternative energy source that is clean and that is cheap compared to regular petroleum. There's some 40 patrol vessels that will be used to improve our maritime capability. And most important, there's the currency swap, which makes now the peso freely convertible to yen. Dati-rati po kasi kinakailangan palitan muna sa dolyar. Eh maraming nawawala pong salapi sa OFW kapag kada magpapadala sila in peso, i-convert muna sa dollar. So it was a hugely successful trip, proof that the pivot to Asia has been paying off.
Thank you. Next, Darrell, then Maricela Lil, then Ted.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Yes,
Darrell
sir.
Pasdo from ABS-CBN News. Sir, may we ask for a palace reaction on the decision of Dole Japan to recall 9,000 bunches of Philippine bananas, especially in light of the Philippines' request to lower tariffs. Sir, kasi may nahanap po na wires dun sa isa sa mga bananas. So, how do we allay concerns from the Japanese regarding the quality of our bananas?
If I'm not mistaken, the Philippines is probably the biggest supplier of bananas to Japan. It's unfortunate that this incident happened. It's not too big. The shipment is not too big. I don't think it will affect our current status as the biggest, if not one of the biggest suppliers of the fruit product into Japan. I think it was just an accident.
Sir, one more question from my part.
And take
Sir,
note, this is not a phytosanitary concern.
Yes.
Kasi ang delikado dyan, when countries impose non-tariff barriers, they impose what is known as phytosanitary. Kunwari, sinasabi nila, there's a threat to health, no? And some countries are notorious for barring agricultural products on this basis, no? But that was not the reason invoked by Japan. So I don't think there's too much of a reason to worry.
Sir, another question. Sir, you served as the legal counsel of Malaya Lolas.
Yes.
I understand. So, sir, how does your being accepted into as the presidential spokesperson affect your advocacy in seeking wartime rape redress, sir?
It hasn't affected it at all, in the sense that the advocacy is continued by Center Law, which is an organization that I founded. But I ceased to be connected with Center Law when I joined government as a member of Congress, because the nature of civil society is that it is divorced from government. So I'm happy to say that I founded that organization, that they continue with their mandate, and they will continue even without me.
Thank you, sir.
Next, Maricel.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir.
Yes.
Maricel.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello po. Sir, just a few clarification. I think you mentioned in one of your interviews that you're planning to hire, or there is a need for a deputy spokesperson. May we know if you have someone in mind who might be your deputy spokesperson, and what will be your criteria in choosing, sir?
Well, number one, I want a millennial. Number two, I want someone better looking than me, so that the women will fall in love with him. And I want someone who speaks better than me. I promise the women, you will like the person I have in mind.
Sir, why is there a need for a deputy spokesperson?
Only because I may not be here all the time. I do want to spend a lot of time in Marawi. I will be there on Wednesdays because you don't want to have me around on Wednesdays. So I will go and meet the Provincial Press Corps on Wednesdays. So, but there's always someone who should be able to give the palace position on different issues. And I think I'm choosing this person because I want a link between a 72-year-old president and the millennials of today.
Alright.
You will not be disappointed with my choice.
Sir, just a clarification, hindi kami yung ayaw na mag-press ko ng Wednesday. Gusto ka namin nandito.
It was only given to us.
Hindi kami yon. But anyway, sir,
But you know, forgive me, but it's an innovation that I thought of because the rebuilding is soon to begin. And I think the people should know exactly what's happening on the ground. That's why it's going to be very difficult for me to be flying to Marawi every Tuesday evening. And it's a very long drive from Cagayan de Oro. It's very complicated for security reasons and logistics reasons. But I want to do that because I want to bring Malacanang to areas where, you know, attention should be devoted. No?
sir, may we know kung sino po yung kino-consider ninyo na possible maging deputy spokes?
A former student of mine. He can't report yet because he's taking the bar. He doesn't know yet, but I'm sure I will be able to persuade him. Magugulo yung kanyang bar review. So, guguluhin ko siya.
Sir, last question na lang po. What particular changes should we expect from OPS?
Well, I've said it again. I am a lawyer. I'm a litigator. So I guess the approach is different. I always will speak from a legal perspective. And believe it or not, one reason why we call lawyering as a fraternity of sorts is it's inculcated in our mind that we have to perform and discharge our obligation pursuant to the Constitution and pursuant to law. So that's a major difference. All pronouncements will be said within the proper legal context.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next, Ted.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
One question lang. Related, sir, doon sa paghiwalay ng OPS sa PCOO, magkakaroon po ba kayo ng restructuring doon sa tao ng PCOO? Will you retain those people, yung po mga official ng OPS na manghawak under Secretary Abella?
I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, no? Dahil narariyan na yung karamihan sa kanila, I'm sure they can stay. And I will repeat what I have said. No one will lose their jobs because it's Christmas. If there will be individuals that will be let go, we will wait until after Christmas. And as I said, I would want to take advantage of the experience of people who are already here. But please understand that as a cabinet post, I also need to bring in people whom I can completely trust. And that's the only reason why I'm bringing in new personalities.
Thank you, sir.
Next, Ted Tuvera, then Rose Nobinario. Microphone, please.
Good morning, Secretary.
Yes,
Secretary, you're known to be an international law expert and now as presidential spokesperson, how would you explain President Duterte's frequent tirades against the European Union, the United Nations, and the United States?
Well, it's part of international relations, no? When the president complains about certain acts of sovereign states, he does so with a reason, no? In the case of the European Union, he felt that there was a violation of the UN Charter, specifically the principle of non-interference, no? Because the drug war is a sovereign undertaking, and it is a sovereign undertaking, no? So it's only understandable that the president expressed displeasure where he feels that this tenet of non-interference is being violated by other countries.
Do you think that it is necessary to curse them, Secretary?
I think people should get used to the president by now, and they must be used to the president after almost a year and a half.
Secretary, on another issue, you were quoted as saying in a report over the weekend that you want to advise the president. That's why you entered cabinet. What would you advise him on the issue of human rights, given that he has this negative reputation in terms of human rights before the international community?
Well, as I said, no, a primary difference between me and other spokespersons is I'm not just a lawyer, I was a practicing lawyer and very active practitioner at that. Now, the president is no different. He practiced criminal law. He was a public prosecutor. And it's a matter really of making the president realize that criminal law is actually a manner of enforcing human rights. Because when you prosecute a case of murder, you do so because a murderer violated the right to life. That kind of an advice, I think, no, would be appropriate. That there is no incompatibility between his public policies, his directives, and human rights itself.
Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you. Next, Rose Novinario.
Good morning uli, sir.
Hi,
Hi, sir.
again.
Ano po yung statement ng palasyo tungkol po dun sa New York City attack po kahapon? Yung lone wolf attack po ng isang truck driver.
I saw the statement from the palace. There was a statement issued. We, of course, express our condolence to the victims. And we have advised the Filipinos in New York to inform the closest consulate if there are any Filipino casualties. But beyond that, you know, this attack proves that terrorism is really a worldwide problem. It's also, I think, attributed to the same terrorist group that is responsible for Marawi. So this again proves that the issue of terrorism had ceased to be a domestic issue, that there is a need for concerted action among states in dealing with the menace of modern-day terrorism.
Sir, ano po yung maipapayo natin sa publiko na para po maiwasan yung ganitong klaseng pag-atake sa Pilipinas? Dahil po sa Amerika, yung US Transportation and Security Agency, nagbigay po sila ng babala sa mga truck owners or yung malalaking vehicle owners po na maging mapanuri po sa halimbawa po sa pag-upgrade po ng mga sasakyang malalaki at yung pagpapaarkila po sa mga taong hindi po nagbibigay ng kanilang background. So, paano po ito pwedeng mai-apply po rito sa Pilipinas?
Wala lang po, kinakailangan maging mapagmasid ang ating mga taong bayan. Kung meron kayo nakikita na kahina-hinalang mga pakete na naiiwan sa mga lugar na pampubliko, ipagbigay alam po natin kaagad sa ating mga otoridad. No? I think this is a kind of awareness that we need to develop as a people. When I was a student in the UK, that kind of awareness was prevalent amongst the British public. No? So the same kind of vigilance is required amongst all Filipinos now. No? Let's be vigilant, let's be observant, and let's not hesitate to inform the authorities in case we believe there is a threat coming from anything or anyone.
Last two questions, Ina Andolong and Hannah Sancho.
Bakit si Philip hindi mo tinawag?
Tatawagin
Ha?
po, sir.
Ayaw mong tawagin si Philip, no? Siyempre, tatawagin mo siya dahil pinagpipiestahan ako. Oo. Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, the Food and Drug Administration is expected to issue soon a decision on some questioned contraceptives. Ito po yung mga, ide-declare daw po ito ng mga non-abortive agents. In effect, this decision is expected to finally lift the TRO on these contraceptives, which has been preventing the full implementation of the RH law. Can we get your thoughts on this, especially since in his last SONA, the President did talk about this?
Hallelujah, it's all I can say. Because this should have been done a long time ago. And this is the only thing that the Supreme Court wants anyway, so that we can fully implement the RH law. As you know, the President is fully committed to enforcing the RH law. Population management is important to economic growth. And with this development, I see no reason why the Supreme Court will continue with this temporary restraining order.
Sir, in that same SONA, the President said that this batch of contraceptives were about to expire the month after. And nautusan din po niya, he gave a directive to, now former Health Secretary Ubial to distribute those contraceptives. May we know the status? Natuloy po ba yun, or did it just go to waste?
Can I invoke a conflict of interest as far as Secretary Ubial is concerned? But there's good reasons for that, because I really believe that reproductive health could have been implemented earlier had he ordered the FDA to do this earlier rather than file a motion for reconsideration. But that, again, is a difference of legal opinion on matter of strategy. But we can see now that this process that the FDA recently concluded could easily have been done earlier had the DOH pressed the FDA to do so.
So naipamigay po yun, sir?
I have no information. I'll find out. But you see, as I said, I have a conflict of interest there. So let's ask the incoming secretary.
Okay. And just a different topic, sir, I have to ask. How long, sir, do you see yourself serving as spokesman? Because in some of the president's speeches, he would refer to you, although in a joking manner, as a senator. I was just wondering if, is that a hint of the president maybe having any plans for 2019 which may affect your position as spokesman?
Alam mo, itong mga pangyayari na talaga akong spokesperson, ang motto ko ngayon, thine will be done. Sino ba naman akalain maging spokesperson ako? None of you probably expected it in the same way that I did not expect it. So in the same way that I do not know what I'll be doing tomorrow, I leave it to the Lord. Meanwhile, I'll just do the best that I can do with this challenge and this opportunity given, and I hope it will be a fun process with all of you there.
Thanks. Hannah, last.
Naku, ayan na si Philip. Buti na lang, kaibigan ko si Philip.
Sir, before kay
He will be
Philip po.
gentle.
Morning, Secretary. Before kay Philip po, Hannah po of Sunshine Media. Sir, tatanong ko lang, sir, regarding dun sa sinabi ng ni Ambassador Kim na hindi po daw totoo na yung CIA may plano pong destabilization plot against kay President Duterte, which is contradict po dun sinabi ng Pangulong Duterte. At I think may isa ring White House official na nag-deny din po nito. Statement po ng pala, sir.
Well, if that is true, we're happy. But if the President says that there is, I have no position to dispute what the President says. The President has access to information that he only has access to. I have not seen it. But I trust and believe that my President will not say anything without factual basis. I stand by whatever my President says.
Okay, and Philip.
Ay, sir, good morning.
Hi, Philip.
Long way. Sir, may update na po ba kay dating spokesperson Abelia kung saan siya mapupunta?
Wala po akong alam sa totoo lang. Although, minsan ko lang siya nakausap at nagte-text po kami para sa transition. No? Pero ang problema ko po talaga is he is a good friend of mine. You know that we belong to the same church. He is one of our pastors. I think he did a brilliant job as spokesperson. I don't think I can ever be as calm as Secretary Abelia, and that's why he's a very difficult act to follow. I have asked for his prayers, and I will pray for him. But I'm sure there's something in store for Secretary Abelia.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you po.
That was mild.
Okay.
Sir, follow up lang po on two things about Japanese loans as a result of the visit and the Comfort Women, because President Duterte said last year that he will raise this issue with the Japanese. I'm curious if the issue of Comfort Women has been raised, considering that Japan already agreed to a compensation deal with South Korean Comfort Women.
I'm almost sure.
Our Comfort Women don't enjoy the same benefits, sir. So, has this been discussed on the table or anything on the table concerning our Comfort Women?
I'm almost sure this was not discussed in the Japan trip. I do not know if the President will bring it up, but in my personal capacity, I will confer with Secretary Alan Cayetano of the Department of Foreign Affairs.
Saka, sir, second, you are also with the President during his visit to China po.
Yes.
And China also had granted us loans. But I've seen figures, the interest rates of the Japanese, it's like 0.01% to 0.03 or 1.15% is the highest, as compared with China as high as 6%. So would you say the Japanese gave a more generous deal for the Philippines?
I think the rates will speak for themselves, but the decision on where we will purchase and how much interest we will pay will really depend on which country will provide the best commodity for us. So I trust that our authorities will make the correct decisions, no? And let's accord them that presumption.
Okay, yan po ang
Thank you, sir.
questions for Secretary Roque. And our presidential spokesperson now will introduce yung ating pong next guest.
Oo nga pala, no? We're not just here to do a press briefing. We're here because it's National Children's Month.
Yes.
Now, we have a resource person here who is a good friend. She's not only very, very intelligent, but also very pleasant to look at. Mary Mitzi Mitch Kahayon Uy is Executive Director of the Council for the Welfare of Children. She was a member of Congress in the 14th and 15th Congress, and representing the 2nd District of Caloocan. No? Her committee membership in Congress include the Special Committee on the Welfare of Children and Special Persons, Youth and Sports Development, Committee on Millennium Development Goals, Committee on Women and Gender Equality, and Committee on Higher Education. Further, she also served as chairperson to the Special Committee on Globalization and the World Trade Organization. Former Rep. Kahayon and Executive Director Kahayon is the author of the Anti-Bullying Act, the Mandatory Infant and Children Immunization Act, as well as an act strengthening the juvenile justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce and let's give a warm welcome to Executive Director Mitch Kahayon Uy.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. I just want to congratulate Secretary Harry Roque for his new position, a very well-deserved post, and I want to say congratulations to our President for having him as well, because it was ang sarap pakinggan ng mga sagot mo. Ang sarap makinig sa'yo, hindi ka nakakaantok. And congratulations. Thank you to the Malacanang Press. It is a pleasant good morning to all. It is almost my 4th month as the Executive Director of the CWC. Quite a transition and a leap from being part of a legislative branch and now as a member of the executive branch. transcending from legislative to the executive gave me a lot of realization on the interconnection of our work, especially in advancing the rights and welfare of children. It is my great pleasure to be with you as we, the Council for the Welfare of Children, celebrates the 25th National Children's Month. Allow me to please give a brief background of CWC before I discuss the National Children's Month. The Council for the Welfare of Children is the focal interagency body of the Philippine government for children. We are an attached agency of the SWD. It was created by virtue of Presidential Decree 603, which is the Child and Youth Act, in 1974, and which was amended by EO 233, series of 1987, which redefined the role, organizational structure, and membership of CWC. Currently, CWC board is composed of 7 line agencies, DSWD as the chair, and other agencies being DOJ, DepEd, DOH, DILG, DOLE, and Department of Agriculture, and 3 other coordinating bodies such as NEDA, NNC, or the National Nutrition Council, and the CWC Secretariat. 3 private individuals, and 1 of which is a child representative. To date, our private individuals are still to be filled in, as our former board members have finished their terms. As a focal government interagency body on children's concerns, CWC is mandated to coordinate the implementation and enforcement of all laws relative to the promotion of children's welfare, formulate and advocate for the implementation of policies, programs, and projects, monitor and evaluate policies, programs, and measures for children, advocate for child's rights and mobilize resources, build strong networks, partnerships, and coordination mechanisms, and institute building of partners and stakeholders. We are also known as the coordinating body in the implementation of the provision of the Convention of the Rights of the Child, or CRC. CWC has developed a number of long-term plans and frameworks for children, which aids in planning and policymaking processes such as Child 21, divided into medium-term plans or the National Plans of Action for Children. Child 21 is a long-term development framework which drives the country's vision for children. It laid the foundation for a rights-based approach to planning and programming woven across the child's stage and development. In order to fully realize the Child 21 framework, it was translated into time-bound plans in medium-term, multiple-year timeframes, which is concretized in the National Plans of Action for Children. Recently, the 3rd National Plan of Action for Children was approved by CWC Board. It is the 3rd and the penultimate multi-sector, medium-term, rights-based, and results-oriented action plan that concretizes the strategies, policies, and programs for children into an action plan to achieve Child 21's vision for Filipino children by 2025. The third NPAC is driven by the country's commitment to the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child and its related optional protocols to uphold children's rights. It is made consistent with children-related goals and target of the Philippine Development Plan 2017 to 2022 and the commitments to the Sustainable Development Goals in 2030. It further takes into account the results, significant findings, and unfinished agenda of the second NPAC 2011-2016, which was focused on the Millennium Development Goals set for achievement in 2015. The third NPAC integrates the salient features of the Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition, Philippine Health Agenda, Philippine Program of the Action Against Child Labor, Philippine Plan of Action for the Elimination of Violence Against Children, among others, and further puts together child-related sector and interagency programs and projects and those of civil society organization and non-government organization. And now I will discuss about the NCM celebration. As the National Children's Month celebration, we will be holding it this November. Republic Act number 10661, series of 2015, declares every November as the National Children's Month, or NCM, a declaration that commemorates the adoption of the Convention of the Rights of the Child by United Nations General Assembly on November 20, 1989, and seeks to instill its significance in the Filipino consciousness. And pursuant to the observation of the National Children's Month, an annual program of activities shall be prepared and implemented by the Council for the Welfare of Children, Department of Social Welfare and Development, and the National Youth Commission Council as the lead agencies. At this point, CWC enjoins everyone in its meaningful celebration through the conduct of activities aligned with the theme Bata Iligtas sa Droga, in support to the administration's campaign against illegal drugs. To further campaign for this advocacy, CWC has lined up several activities for this year's NCM celebration. One of the major activities is launching of Pito Bata Pito, a call for help, or C4H, an initiative of the Council for the Welfare of Children in partnership with the Rotary Club Pasay Cyber City on November 6. The Pito Bata Pito, a call for help, have the whistle symbolizes the children's call for support, help, and immediate response in times of threat or danger brought about the violence against children or any emergency situation. Even children with disabilities can use it easily as means of communication when feeling threatened or harmed. It can give security and comfort having one. Right now, school children are taught how to use whistles, but I cannot say that it holds true in all schools. You can see it in ads that they are having go bags or the survival bags, that whistles should be included. But then, same whistle can aid or help the children when they need assistance in times of danger or when cannot cry out for help. The Pito Bata Pito call for help seeks to give children a voice from being victims of various crimes, specifically on illegal drugs, and all forms of violence and exploitation. It is okay to blow their whistles or pitos whenever they feel in danger and unsafe. One of the critical issues we are faced in our fight against drug is the children falling as victims of illegal drug activities and other forms of violence in the country. It is in this context that the Council sees the need to launch this campaign for children to be equipped in protecting themselves. It calls the authorities and the citizens to act and engage proactively in working together in protecting and advancing the rights and welfare of children. This campaign will gather donations for whistles until the end of 2017 in partnership with the Rotary Club, as I've mentioned. We'll be aiming for 1 million whistles that will be given to different kids across the nation by Christmas season. Another major activity is the conduct of the Presidential Award for Child-Friendly Municipalities and Cities, which is done annually. And this is a recognition and incentive system which is given to the different municipalities and cities which has garnered the highest rating in different plans, programs, policies, and implementation of child-friendly projects in different sectors, such as education, health, resource mobilization, policy and planning process, and project implementation. It is also a strategy to advocate and monitor the implementation of the Convention of the Rights of the Child in local level. The awarding ceremony will be here in Malacañang Palace on October 22nd, and there are also other activities that goes along on our Children's Month, like the Kit a Sticker campaign and the Kids Festival. So I deeply appreciate, I'm extending the invitation to all of you, and CWC along with the NYC and DSWD have partners for these endeavors. All throughout the month of November, we will having also our regional activities on our extended regional offices. I deeply appreciate the presence of different stakeholders in our pursuit in achieving the vision of Child-Friendly Philippines, a caring and proactive society for, by, and with children. This vision is a translation of our commitment to the UNCRC, which we share and promote among all sectors and levels of Philippine society. The celebration of the NCM is just but one manifestation, where it is evident that responsive, collaborative partnership and linkages are at work. We hope you can all be with us during the kickoff activity, which is on November 6th, this coming Monday at San Francisco High School at Misamis Street, Bagong Bantay, Quezon City. This is beside SM Annex. We look at the media as an important ally in the promotion and protection of children's rights and welfare. Thank you and good day.
All right, questions for Executive. Yes, Chris Jose.
Ma'am, tanong ko lang yung age na pagagamitin sa age ng mga bata na pwedeng gumamit ng whistle.
The Council for Welfare of Children is protecting the children who are below 18. So these children that could already be of age to use the whistle could already do so. Could already use so.
Na nakipag-coordinate po ba kayo sa mga barangay officials para
the information has about to cascade through the LGUs with the help of the council board. Nung pinag-usapan po namin ang mga proposal na ito, ay inaasahan po namin na ang mga LGUs through the DILG will help us cascade this program.
Okay, next question po. Yes po. Tina.
Good morning po. I'm Christina Mendez from Philippine Star. In line with your program, ano po bang ginagawa ng unit or agency nyo regarding children involved in armed conflict?
Yes. Ang CWC ay having the mandate of EO 138 na kung saan kami ay tumatayo bilang chair. Kami ay may mga miyembro na kung saan kinakailangan namin na magbigay ng mga polisiya para sa mga bata in armed conflict, especially ngayon na sinusubaybayan namin ang mga bata lalo na sa Marawi na kung saan yung mga balita na ang nire-recruit ay ang mga bata bilang combatant. So, dito ay inaasahan namin na sa tulong ng mga LGUs at ng mga yung partners namin ay mapoprotektahan namin ang mga bata patungkol dito. And yes, nung sisak natin, nitong kailan lamang ay nagkaroon kami ng meeting tungkol dito, malaki sana ang inaasahan naming pagtugon ng gobyerno, lalo-lalo na patungkol sa budget. Kasi gustuhin man namin na magkaroon ng monitoring at yung hotline patungkol dito ay hindi pa namin na isa sa gawa because of lack of budget. So, yun, siguro sa aking leadership na medyo bago pa lamang kasi po ako, kaya ginaasahan namin na i-work out namin to sa tulong ng mga miyembro, ng mga partners.
Ma'am, on another note, ano pong mga programa naman ang nakahanda para sa mga kaso katulad nila Kian de los Santos na below 18 years old teenagers na ma-prevent naman silang maging victim of any police operations or caught in crossfire during drug operations?
Actually, palagay ko ito ay nasa kaso na ang nakakalungkot si Kian ay sa amin kasi sa council, kahit ang isang bata ay sabihin na natin na isang akusado or siya ay maaring involved sa droga, hindi siya dapat malapatan he will not until he is proven guilty. Hindi siya dapat maakusahan. Kaya kung kami sa council, kami ay talagang nakatutok dito sa kaso ni Kian. And actually, inimbitahan namin ang kanyang mga magulang sa November 6 para tumayo bilang suporta dito sa aming mga tinatayong mga programa. Actually, I guess the Juvenile Justice System Council is the one handling this case.
Okay, and last question for Ma'am Mitch. Dexter Ganibe, DZMM.
Magandang tanghali po. Ma'am, with the upcoming ASEAN events, may ano po ba? Ano ang role ng inyong tanggapan? Kasi madalas ginagawa yung mga bata sa mga lansangan, lalo na doon sa mga maapektuhang lugar. May coordination with DSWD?
Pero definitely hindi kami magtatago ng bata. Siguro, kung halimbawang ito ay nagawa nung nakaraang administrasyon, siguro ayaw naman ang ating Pangulo, knowing PRRD, ay hindi siya mapagkunwari. Kung ano yung nakikita, yun ang dapat makita. At kung ang sa akin lamang, ang mga street children na to, the reason why the budget, good Senator Lauren Legarda had placed a huge amount in these activity centers cuddling the street children. Ito yung ginawa niyang pamamaraan para mas masama-sama ang mga bata na nasa kalye. So definitely, we will place the children in these activity centers where they could they could play, they could read, and they could be fed on
during that period, ma'am. Yung ASEAN from 13 to 17, meron kayong activities para sa kanila, para naman.
I guess we will work hand in hand with the DSWD on this matter.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Ted, wala ka ng follow-up. Lana, all right. Thank you so much po.
Right.
Executive Director Mitch Kahayon.
Housekeeping lang, no?
Okay po,
Housekeeping.
spokes.
Wala naman pong
Secretary Harry Roque.
Housekeeping lang ito, no? Wala pong major pagbabago, no? So I'm subscribed already to your Heads Up Viber group. So I'm there already if you need to ask questions. Si Asek Queenie will continue to be in charge of content. I do have an MRO who I hope you can also tap, no, in bridging yung contacts between us. He's Iko Cepeda. He's still in Congress, but I intend to bring him, no. And then in terms of regularity, I proposed actually a Monday good news, no, na I will be strict. It's all good news, okay, on Monday. I do not know if it's feasible, but we'll try. Now, there's a Marawi Wednesday, but take note too that I think they asked me to report early because of ASEAN. So, yung full implementation of whatever I want to do, which is new, may have to wait until after ASEAN. No? But otherwise, business as usual. That's still on with Secretary Andanar. I have another innovation. On Fridays, I will be traveling and visiting the local press corps. and conducting briefings outside as well. The Mindanao Hour goes on as usual. Okay? No, on Fridays. I think they will move it now to Friday.
Once a week.
Yes. Oo.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays, I conduct regular press briefings as usual. So it may be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, but Monday is still tentative kasi I do not know if it's workable, if we will have enough materials because it's the weekend. So we may have to work on it on Friday for materials for Monday. I'll see, no? But definitely, I will attempt to go to Marawi again this coming Wednesday. I'm sure you have your colleagues assigned also in Marawi already. Yes. And then I'll try to have regular briefing for the provincial press corps. So I'll be traveling on Fridays. Okay?
Okay.
So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Happy to be here, and I look forward to an exciting and fun relationship with all of you.
Maraming
Bye-bye.
salamat po, Presidential Spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque and Council for Welfare Children, Director Mitch Kahayon. Ito po ang Malacanang press briefing. Back to our main studios on Radyo Pilipinas and PTV4.